Joining me now, Floyd Abrams, probably the best-known First Amendment lawyer in the country, who also happens to be my dad. Dad, good to see you.
Nice to be here.
All right, so first of all, what do you make of the argument that this is a suppression of First Amendment rights or free speech rights?
It doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not what the First Amendment deals with. First of all, First Amendment has a limitation on the government, only on the government, the Congress, New York State, California, and universities, which are state universities. Now, that said, universities do promise, and Columbia does promise, to abide by basic principles, which would certainly keep them from shutting one student up because they disagreed with his views on something. But the notion that there's some sort of First Amendment violation when the police are called, where students have entered into, broken into, seized a building belonging to the university, the notion that that's protected by what, the spirit of the First Amendment? It's not. And indeed, without law, including law enforcement, there will not be any genuine protection for our freedoms as a whole.
One of the arguments we hear is this has always been the classic way throughout history, that protests have started on college campuses, et cetera. But it still seems to me that there can still be a distinction between speech and action.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, whether or not students are allowed to march on campus, which may come out different ways in different courts, there's no argument, just none at all, I think, of a serious nature that they're allowed to seize property belonging to the university and then claim that their First Amendment rights have been violated when, after lots of efforts have been taken to resolve this in a pacific way, the police are called.
You mentioned the distinction between private and public university, right? I mean, in some cases it's happening at public universities as well. They still have some limitations, obviously, on what they can and can't do.
Absolutely. I mean, public universities are allowed to engage in a sort of self-preservation. I mean, they don't have to just sit and not be able to do classes because of noise and not be able to continue in an educational process, fulfilling their educational mission, because students are not playing by the rules of the game.
This isn't close.
No, it's not close. And it's, I mean, there have been situations in which universities did suppress speech at some points in some colleges, et cetera, and they shouldn't have done it, and they were right to be criticized. But the notion that anything that we've seen in any of the televised and nationally discussed, essentially, assaults by students on their universities and colleges, none of that involves a suppression of First Amendment protected activity.
Let me read from a statement from the ACLU. They said, quote, "As you fashion responses to the activism of your students and faculty and staff, it is essential that you not sacrifice principles of academic freedom and free speech that are core to the educational mission of your respected institution." That's really sort of a non-statement from the ACLU.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I don't disagree with it. I don't know how anybody could either disagree with it or be guided by it. It's just not helpful.
Yeah.
Now, there have been situations, but not what we've seen in the last days that all of us are following, in which universities have indeed suppressed speech, and they should be criticized.
But not here, yeah.
Not here.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.